So as you know, our first story is the Loyal Mongoose. So this story is about a mongoose. So let's get started. Once there was a farmer who lived with his wife and his infant son in the village. The farmer and his wife loved their son very much. One day, while returning from the fields, the farmer found a little mongoose lying near the road. It looked pale and hurt. The farmer picked it up and brought it to his home. He told his wife that the little mongoose would be a pet for their son. His wife did not like the idea of having a mongoose near the son, but accepted it reluctantly. So the farmer tended to the wounds of the mongoose and gave it food and water. The mongoose recovered very quickly. The farmer's son and the mongoose started growing together. So the farmer took care of the mongoose and it recovered. One day, the farmer's wife had to go to the market. She put her son to sleep and told her husband to look after him. She told him not to let the mongoose near the sun. She somehow felt that it is not safe to let the animal go near the sun. Her husband assured her that he would look after the baby. So the husband promised the mongoose go near the gate. Soon after his wife had left for the market, the farmer was called by the local moneylender. The moneylender wanted his money to be returned that he had lent to the farmer some time back. The farmer had a good harvest that season and had the money ready with him. So after his wife left, the farmer had to go because the moneylender had called him. He lent him some money and he wanted it back. But the farmer was all alone and he had to leave the baby because the baby was sleeping. So he thought maybe he can leave the baby with the mongoose. Mongoose is an intelligent animal and it would take care of the baby. So the farmer left with the baby with the mongoose. The baby was sleeping and thus the farmer could not take the child with him. He placed the child in his cradle and left him with the mongoose. He believed that the mongoose was an intelligent animal and could take care of the son. After some time, the farmer's wife came back with a bucket. She found the mongoose inside the house. After some time, the farmer's wife returned and she was shocked to see the mongoose and the farmer wasn't home. So let's see what happens next. She looked at the mongoose and realized that something wasn't right. The face and the paws of the mongoose were covered with blood. She was dumbstruck. So the farmer's wife was shocked to see the blood over the mongoose face and the paws. She thought, oh my God, where is my son? How is my son? What must have the mongoose done to my son? And all these things she was thinking about all the time. She was really scared. Now let's see, what did she say to the mongoose? You dirty creature, you have killed my son. She cried and struck the mongoose on the head with a basket full of vegetables. So, what happened? The wife got really angry and she put the basket full of vegetables on the head of the mongoose. She was really petrified to see the blood on the mongoose face and paw, and she had all these thoughts creeping over her mind that what have the mongoose done to my son? She ran inside and was relieved to find the baby sleeping peacefully in his cradle. So what happened? She ran inside and the baby was sleeping peacefully. So the mongoose has not harmed the baby. It hasn't done anything to the baby. So she needs to check what has happened. But on the floor lay a black snake, torn into pieces and bleeding. The snake appeared very poisonous. So what did she see? She saw a snake. And what happened? What might have happened? The mongoose killed the snake because he thought The snake might harm the baby. So, let's see what happens next. The farmer's wife realized what had happened. The mongoose must have seen the snake, and realizing that it might harm the baby, the mongoose would have torn the snake into pieces. So what happened? So mongoose is a very intelligent animal, as you all know. It tried to protect the baby from the snake, and it killed the snake. That was very, very intelligent thing to do, to protect the baby. And that was very daring of the mongoose. But what had she done? She rushed back to the mongoose. You know what? It is too late. So she had to go back and check on the mongoose to see how the mongoose was doing. With tears in her eyes, she lifted the heavy basket and bent down to look at him. The loyal mongoose was dead. Oh no, what did she do? She killed the mongoose. Isn't that sad? What do you guys think she could have done differently? So, can I interact with the kids now?
Yeah, sure.
Hi, I would like to interact with the kids.
Okay. They can raise their hand. I'll unmute them.
Yeah, sure. So I would like to ask, what do you think the moral of the story is? What did you learn from the story today?
We learn from the story that before we do take any action, we should first check what has happened.
Oh wow, that's great. May I know your name?
Alarm.
Sorry?
Alarm.
Wow, so good. You got the story right. So what we have to do is, before we take any action, we need to think. We can't take any action in, we have to think before taking an action. What she could have done differently? Can anybody tell me? Hello?
Could have first go and check how is her baby, and then she could have took any action.
Wow, that's so smart. Good job. Okay, so what standard are you in?
Ma'am, 5.
Wow, you're very smart. And have you read this story before?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read this story before?
No, ma'am. I just listened to you and
Wow, I am so proud of you. You're doing so good, and I'm proud of everybody here today. Okay? So what we have to do is we need to think before we do anything. Don't take any action in the nick of the time. When you're angry, you might do something wrong, right? So you need to calm down. You need to think before you take any actions, or you might hurt somebody willingly or unwillingly. Okay? So how can we do this in our everyday lives? When you're angry at something, you just need to calm down. When you're angry at your parents or somebody, your siblings, you need to calm down and think, am I doing the right thing? Should I be acting this way? No, you need to calm down, because once you calm down, you can think wisely and take actions. Okay, everybody? So we need to learn from this story, right? We need to learn good things from this story. What did we learn good? That we need to think before we act. Now let's move on to the next story, guys. So the title of our next story is The Elephants and the Mice. Long ago, there was a beautiful city with lots of large temples and houses. The city was prosperous, and its residents were always very happy and cheerful. close to the city was a large and clean lake. The water in the lake was very sweet. So there was this city which was prosperous. What does prosperous mean? It means it was well to do. It had everything that they needed and it was flourishing. But with the passage of time, the city turned into ruins and its residents moved to faraway towns and cities in other kingdoms. They took all the belongings along, including the cattle, bullocks, goats, and horses. Even the stray dogs and cats decided to follow the residents of the city and move out with them. So, do you know what stray means? What are stray dogs and cats? Stray means something that doesn't have a home. They live on the streets. Don't we all have stray dogs and cats near our place? We do, right? So even they love us like we do them. So you guys don't harm them. Don't be mean to them, right? We need to be good to them. So it seems like the stray dogs and cats too love the residents and they move with them. And also I would like to tell you the meaning of ruins. Ruins is something that has been destroyed over the time. So something that is very old, it gets destroyed, right? So and only the remains are left. So that is called as ruins. Once, only the mice in the city decided to stay back, even without any residents. The natural vegetation in the city supplied enough food for the mice that they decided to stay back. So the mice thought it was a good idea to stay back, and they were smart. They thought that they had enough food around and they could survive. The city was lined with a lot of fruit trees. They could now eat a variety of fruits and vegetables that grew in the city. Slowly, the mice grew in number and the entire city turned into a city of mice. Wow, they looked so happy and cheerful. So, what was left in the city? Only the mice. And there were lots and lots and lots of mice in the city now. And they looked so happy and cute. Several generations started living together in the city. There were grandparents, parents, uncles, aunts, cousins, and lots of baby mice. It was one large mice family. They held their own festivals and get-togethers. They took great care of each other in sickness and in health. So, it seems like there were so many mice, and there were a lot of baby mice. You know what baby mice are called? They're called as pup or pinkies. You know why pinkies? Because they are tiny, cute little pink creatures when they are born. And they look so cute. But are you guys scared of mice? I am really scared of them. I just like to look at them, but when they come near me, I get scared. So like how all we live with our parents and our grandparents and sometimes our uncles and our cousins, same these guys had such a huge family and they were happy together. They had parties, they had festivals like how we do. What festivals do you think they might have had? We don't know, right? We celebrate Diwali and Eid and Christmas. Just think about it, what festivals they might have had. It must have been interesting, don't you think so? Far away from the city, there was a very dense forest. Huge river used to pass through the forest, supplying clean water to all the animals staying in the jungle. Amongst the animals, there was a big herd of elephants. The elephants stayed in harmony with animals in the jungle, so with other animals in the jungle. The jungle provided them with ample food, water, and shelter. So, far away from the city, there was this huge, dense jungle, right? And there were lots and lots of animals. There were elephants, and maybe monkeys, and maybe tiger, or maybe lion, and giraffe, and zebra. It looked like there were so many animals, and there were elephants too. And They lived happily with each other, with all the other animals. They didn't fight like how our siblings fight with us. They were good, right? So the jungle provided them with food, water, and shelter. So they thought it is a good idea. Don't you think animals do live in jungles, right? Because they have food there, they feel safe, it is their home. Now, during one summer, the river ran dry due to very less rain. The animals in the forest started dying of the thirst. Oh my God! The queen of the elephant herd asked all the young elephants to go in all the directions in search of water. After a few days, one of the elephants came back to the queen and told her about the lake near the mice city. The queen at once ordered the herd to leave the forest and move towards the lake. So what happened? So one of the summers there wasn't much rain and the river dried up. Don't we all need water? I think you guys and all of us shouldn't waste water at home, right? We should close our taps when we don't need it. So we need to save water because then see animals are dying because they don't have enough water. So let's not waste water and save it. So what happened? So the elephant asked, the queen of the elephant, it asked all the other elephants to go in different directions to see if they have water. Because they wanted to move there. Because everybody needs water, right? Or they would die if they don't drink water. So now let's see what happened. As soon as the herd saw the lake, they started running towards it. They had not been in the water for many months and could not stop themselves from making a dash towards the lake. In their excitement, they did not notice that hundreds of mice were getting trampled under their feet. Isn't that sad? Elephants were really excited seeing the water. Do you guys know? They love to play in the water. It's their favorite sport. Even I love to play in water. When I go to the beach, I am so excited. So were the elephants. They were excited to play in the water and they did not see the mice. The mice are tiny, right? They did not see the mice and they trampled them. They stomped them with their feet and some of them must have died. Isn't that sad? The mice tried to save themselves, but many were killed and injured. They also feared that on their way back from the lake, the elephants would unknowingly trample many more. An old man suggested that they should go and narrate the whole incident to the queen. Further, they should request the queen to take the herd from other route. Okay, thought they should go and talk to the queen and tell her their concerns. They told her that you can call it route or route. It is both acceptable. In India, they call it route, but I live in US and here they call it route. So don't get confused, guys. So what happened? So let's see, what did the queen say to the rats? Did she agree to them or not? The mice did as suggested by the old mouse. The queen elephant was very sorry for the loss that the herd had brought upon the city of the mice. She assured the mice that the herd would take a different route while going back to the forest and would never come near the city of mice. The old mouse thanked the queen for understanding their concern. He also told the queen that the mice family would always be ready to help the elephants if need be. So what happened? So the queen elephant was very generous and she told the mice that she would take another route. Isn't that very good thing that elephant has decided to do? They are being nice to the mice. They thought about them. They thought that they were really feeling bad and sorry for what they have done. And they apologized to the rats and said them, "We are sorry we did that to you. We'll take a different route now." So looks like the mice were really happy. And they told the elephants, they promised the elephants they would help them when they need. But what do you think these small tiny creatures would help elephants with? They are so tiny. How can they help the elephants? Let's see. Many months passed by. The king of a nearby kingdom was raising an army and wanted a lot of elephants for his regiment. His servants went to the forest and laid traps for catching the elephants. They dug deep trenches and covered them with leaves and kept lots of bananas on them. So, what happened? So, a lot of months went by and the king of the nearby kingdom was raising an army. So, do you guys know? They need elephants. They ride on them. Okay? They ride on them when they have to go fight a war. They may be using it for other purposes. So you guys need to tell me what all they can use it for when we interact, right? So what did the king's men do? So they laid a trap. They dug deep holes and they put leaves on them so the elephants wouldn't know that there is a hole in there. And they kept bananas to lure the elephant because right, elephants like bananas. And then they see the banana, they'll be like, "Banana, banana, I need a banana." The elephants, while trying to reach out for the bananas, fell into the traps. How sad. She kept calm and started thinking of a way to escape. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. The servants pulled out the trapped elephants with the help of other tamed elephants. Once out of the trenches, the servants tied them up to the trees with the help of thick ropes and went back to inform the king. So, what did they do now? They tied the elephants to the tree with a huge, big, thick rope. Yes? And they went to inform the king about it. Now, poor elephants, let's see what happens next. The queen of the elephant was one among those who got trapped. She kept calm and started thinking of a way to escape. At once, she thought of the old mouse and his promise of helping the elephants whenever required. She called one of the young elephants who had not fallen into the trench and was still free. She asked the young elephant to go to the city of mice and narrate the entire incident. So, the queen calmly thought how could she get out of the trap. So her idea was to call the mice to help them because they had once promised. Look how the mice are going to help them now. We thought they were tiny creatures and couldn't do anything. The young elephant did as instructed. Soon thousands of mice came running to the forest to help their friends in this hour of need. Within minutes, they cut loose the ropes with their sharp teeth, and the elephants were free again. Look, these tiny mouse, what have they done? They helped the elephants get out of the trap by biting on the rope and cutting it loose. Wow! See, even these tiny creatures can be helpful. The queen elephant thanked the mouse for remembering the promise and for rescuing the elephants from the captors. The old mouse was happy that the mice were able to help the elephants, thus repay the debt. The elephants and the mice became great friends. They lived in peace ever after. So, what happened? The elephants were able to escape from the trap of the king. And who helped them get out of it? The tiny little mice. They were so helpful. And once elephants helped them by taking another route, right? So this time the mice helped them by getting them free from the trap of the king. So they became great friends and they lived in peace. Okay? So can I interact with the kids now?
Yeah, sure. Kids can raise their hand.
Yeah. So what did we learn from this story?
We learned if we doing good to others from something happens with are also good.
Oh,
Good will happen with are also.
with you also, right? What is your name?
Ma'am, Deep.
Steve, you are so smart. I think you got the story right, and I didn't think of it. I didn't think of it. You are so good at it. Yes, we need to help others so they, when the need comes, they will help us. Just don't think about, do good to others, right? We need to be good to others. And also, there is one more thing: a friend in need is a friend indeed. Right? The friend help them. Wow, help friend in trouble. That is so good. Very good, Shripad, right? I thought I read the name right. I hope so. I'm sorry if I didn't read it right. And then also we learn is don't underestimate anybody. We thought the mice were tiny little creatures. How could they help those huge mighty elephants? But they helped, right? So don't underestimate anyone. Don't think that person is tiny. How will that person help me? So be good to others. Be there in any shape, any size. You need to be good to everybody. Okay? Don't we all, everybody deserves to be helped, right? When somebody is in trouble, we need to help them. I'm so glad that you guys came up with so many morals of the story. I didn't even think through it. I am so happy that I learned something from you guys today. So, is there anybody who wants to tell something?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Drushan.
Hi, Darshan. Yeah, tell me what you want to tell.
The moral of this story is what will go, it will come back.
Oh, wow. I didn't think of it. Good job, buddy.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, you're so good. And is there anybody else who wants to tell something? Okay, no one.
Yes,
so
ma'am. Ma'am,
Yeah.
I was telling that we can also use elephants for trading.
Like how?
Like if the king wants to send some things to another country, they can use elephants for carrying the things, and then they can go and arrive there, and they can give it to the other country.
Wow. Wow. So cool. Yeah, I asked you that question, right? I remember it now. You're so smart. Yeah, right. So the elephants can also help the king by trading, by taking goods from one place to another. Right, that's smart. And is there anybody else who wants to tell something? Okay, I don't think there's anybody else who has anything to say. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I really learned so much from you guys. Okay? So then bye.